Hey guys, we are starting on soldier, soldier, so go ahead and take that out for me. Now, have we already numbered our measures in this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. Make sure that you have numbered your measures in soldier, soldier, okay? So let's review what we have already started in this song, okay? Yes.
I think we would need, like, even in this class, probably not me, maybe, like, your other classes should, but like, the class, we don't ever tell you to put that on because you don't do it half the time.
I always record our class rehearsals. I don't record sight reading here, but I do record the class rehearsals. You probably just, I actually remember it on my own, so you probably don't realize I do record it. All right, here we go. Soldier, soldier. Everybody ready? Sit up nice and tall in your seats. We are doing that top line. Here we go. Ready? Sit up tall, Jalen. Scoot to the front of your seat. Hold your music up out of your lap. Here we go. Wait, music up out of your lap. There we go. One and, oh, Avery, music out of your lap. 1, 2, ready, sing. Good, you got much again. I know it's been a while since we've sung this, right? Is it starting to come back?
Yeah.
Starting to remember that? Okay, good. Sit up nice and tall. Do that much. One more time. Sit up tall. Hold your music up out of your lap. 1 and 2 and sing it again. Soldier, soldier, will you ready me with your musket, rifle, drum? But how can I marry such a pretty little miss? Drum diddly dum dum, drum diddly dum. Sing this for me. Drum diddly dum dum, drum diddly dum. Ready, go. Drum diddly dum dum, drum diddly dum. Everybody say drum diddly dum dum. Go. Drum diddly dum dum. And good. The next one is drum diddly dum and go. Drum diddly dum. So chant both. Drum diddly dum dum. Drum diddly dum. So it sounds like this. Drum diddly dum dum. Drum diddly dum. Do that for me. Drum diddly dum dum. Drum diddly dum. Excellent job. Now let's go back to the beginning. And remember, are we going to say soldier or are we going to say soldier?
Soldier.
Soldier, right? So sit up nice and tall. Soldier, soldier. Here we go. Ready? Soldier, 1 and 2 and are ready and sing. Soldier, soldier, will you marry? Sing this for me. Marry me. Ready, go. Marry me. Good. And we're not saying marry me. Remember, we're tripping that R. We're going to say it's like a little bitty D right there instead of an R. Marry me. Do you hear that? Look at that little tiny little D right there. Ready, go. Marry me. Now the second note is not quite accurate. Marry. Sing that for me, Bill. Marry. Good. Most of the time it's a little sharp, but I'm getting marry me instead of marry me. One more time. Sit up tall. Give me good posture. Ready, go. Marry me. Good. Now start at soldier again. Ready, go. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me with your musket, pipe, and drum? But how can I marry such a... We're still doing it. On the word such, I want you to look at that word. Am I moving up or down from the note right before it? I'm staying the same, but I've got quite a few of you that are trying to move down on that note instead of staying the same. How can I marry such? Sing that for me. Ready? time. Ready, go. How can I marry such a... Good, now going on this time. Ready, go. How can I marry such a pretty little miss? Drum, diddly dum, dum, drum, diddly dum. Good. All right, stand up. Stand up with me. Now, remember, Jalen, I'm going to point this out to you because I know you haven't been here. I want to make sure that you can see this, okay? Let me see. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Visualizer, right? Looks like it. Okay, so Jalen, look at this with me, bud. Do you see, we're singing this top line. We're singing this top line, Jalen, right here. So dear, will you marry me with your musket, pipe, and drum? And then when we get to drum, do you see this line, Jalen, this dotted line that goes down here to the bottom line? Do you see that? Okay, that's telling us we're going to go down to the alto line for just a minute, okay? And then we go down. But how can I marry such a pretty little miss? Now I'm going to move back up, Jalen. At measure 7, I'm going to move back up to the soprano line. Drum, diddle dee dum, dum, drum, diddle dee dum. Got it? Okay, everybody, let's sing that together. Here you go. 1 and 2 and ready, sing. So dear, will you marry me with your basket, pipe, and drum? But how can I marry such a pretty little miss? Drum, diddly dum, dum, drum, diddly dum. Now, look at the next line. You can have a seat. Measure 9. Look at it. What are the words?
To the hat, sure.
What's a hatter?
Person who sells hats.
A person who sells hats. Now, why would we be going, why is she going to the hatter?
To buy him a cowboy hat.
To buy him a hat. Why does he need a hat? Where do we
The
get this?
fancy?
Because he says I have one.
Because the altos are gonna say, but how can I marry such a pretty little miss when I have no hat to put on? So, it wasn't really that long ago that men and women still wore hats as a part of a really dressed up outfit, okay? And sometimes people will still wear these pretty fancy little hats to church, okay?
My grandma.
Yes, did your grandma do that, Jalen? And they had, huh?
It's like a dead pigeon.
No, I think it's cool.
That's not cool.
And my aunt wore, well, it's not a hat, it's called a, what do you call it? It doesn't matter, one of those fancy little things like the royals wear in their hat, on their heads when they go to fancy events. Yeah, and they're called something, I'll think of it later. No, it's not a bonnet, it's, anyway, I'll think of it later, I'll probably yell it out in the middle of y'all singing. But anyway, it was just back then, especially when this was written, it was just a part of a fully dressed, formal outfit, okay? And so you could never get married to someone if you weren't wearing your hat. You just didn't do that, okay? Kind of like when I was a little girl, it wasn't very long ago that people still really dressed up a lot to go to work. So when I was little, my dad is an engineer. And I remember so well that every single day, my dad wore a 3-piece suit to work. Pants, vest, jacket, tie. That was what he was expected to wear to work. A 3-piece suit, y'all. Now, fast forward to now, he wears a polo and khakis. That's what he wears to work now, okay? Because that's what everybody wears. But back when I was little, forever ago,
Fancy.
he wore a 3-piece suit to work every single day. Okay, so, the dressing standards have become like super casual, especially in the last 15 years as this whole athleisure thing has become big and girls and women walk around in like athletic pants and shirts and that's an outfit,
Tights.
yoga
You would have
pants.
never, ever done that, ever in a million years when I was a kid.
I wear basketball shorts.
People would have literally probably thought that you were going crazy. No, that's not an exaggeration.
It's
They'd be like,
fine.
what is wrong with her? Why is she walking around in her workout clothes?
Cause it feels good.
Okay, now it's acceptable, right? Now it's just a thing, because we were so much more casual. But that's a sign. The hat thing, that was just, you weren't fully dressed without your hat. Now let's look at the next verse, let's see how this works. So we say, off to the hatter she did go, as hard as she could run, brought him back, the finest was there. And then we hold out the word there at the end. Do you see that in measures 14, 15, and 16? We're holding there for a while the altos kind of finish up the verse. Now, soldier, put it on. Then we go back to the beginning again. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me with your musket? And then we get to measure 9, and what do? We already sang off to the hatter, so now what are we gonna sing in measure 9?
Off to the tailor.
Off to the tailor, and what's a tailor?
Coat store. Jeff store.
Huh? Someone who does what to clothing?
Mix. Usually like
Fits it. So like if you have a jacket that does, like the sleeves are too long or something like that, you would take it to the tailor and they would fix it. Or most commonly now, if you have pants that are too long and you need them hemmed or something like that, you can take them to a tailor. And then, yeah, it's not as common at all anymore. So, we're going to the tailor because the altos told us in verse 2 that he has no coat to put on. So he needs to have his coat tailored, okay? So she went, brought him back, the finest was there. Now soldier, put it on. Now we go back to the beginning again. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me with your musket, pipe, and drum? And how can I marry such a pretty little miss when I have no shoes to put on?
So you homeless?
Okay? Well, people were just very, very poor back then, and, they just had to do without a lot of the time, okay? Now, look at measure 9. Now what are we doing? Off to the what?
cobbler.
What's a cobbler?
Shoe store. Sorry, not really.
Someone who
Well,
makes shoes, or repairs shoes. Have any of you ever had shoes repaired?
Yes, I get them done all the time.
I've had shoes repaired too,
I
Jalen.
get these repaired a lot.
If they get dirty, it's just tough luck.
For me,
I want some.
I wear high heels a lot. I think you
Yeah,
probably
you
figured
said
that out, okay? I wear high
No,
heels a
no,
lot,
no.
and the tips on the backs of my heels will get worn down to the point that I'm walking on the screw that's going all the way through the bottom of my shoe. So I can take my shoes to the cobbler, they still exist, and they'll put a new tip on the end of my heel, so that I can walk on my shoe without,
Do those cost-
sliding all over the
Do
place.
those
It's-
cost less than a shoe?
Oh, yeah, to put new tips on high heels, it's about $3. And you know,
That's not
and
expensive.
you know, if you bought a really, really nice pair of high heels, you wanna hang on to them as long as possible.
These
so,
are $800 shoes, and it costs $1,000 just for me to get them repaired.
What?
It costs $1,000 just to get these repaired, and these
No,
are
it
all.
didn't.
Yes, it did. For some weird reason, I think I
No,
got
they
ripped
don't.
off.
Maybe 1,000 pennies.
No.
But not $1,000.
The fact that you're a rich kid.
The most I've ever paid to have a pair of shoes repaired was like $15. And that was literally, they were putting the sole of my shoe back on my shoe. But anyway, so they still have
They're
cobblers, you can
definitely
take your
not-
shoes there, get them repaired and all of that kind of stuff.
Are they still like, those are not pretty common though, you never.
Cobblers are not common, they are not, you're right.
All of these.
But you can, but cobblers are still, like, probably the main part of their business is polishing leather and shining it up and making it look new, okay?
Refurbishing.
Refurbing, yep. Okay, so, there is a 4th verse, and the 4th verse is where we end. Soldier, soldier, will you marry me with your musket, pipe, and drum? But how can I marry such a pretty little miss with a wife and a baby at home? What?
I'm really confused. Pardon me?
That's wrong.
Trying to go buy another wife.
Okay, so,